Well, well, well. Deshaun Strickland gets it done, man, against Anthony Hernandez. Finishes him in the third round, and I'm just here to give my immediate reaction and breakdown to this fight. And, obviously, I got my pick wrong. I'm actually not doing too great on main event picks this year, man. And, dude, next time, I feel like this is a 50-50 close fight. I'm just going to go with Bedtime MMA's pick, dude. Bedtime is a crazy predictor. This guy genuinely is just greening every shot he takes, bro. This guy picked Hamzat Chimaev by decision. Like, who does that, bro? That's insane. This guy picked fucking, like, he picked Volkanovski. He picked Gagey to beat Patty, and now he's picked Sean Strickland to beat Hernandez. This guy is actually greening every shot he takes, bro. Respect to Bedtime, bro. Next time I have a fight that I'm not sure about, I'm dead ass just taking Bedtimes. But anyway, let's just get straight into this fight. Sean Strickland pretty much destroys Anthony Hernandez, dude. It was competitive in the first round, but then he kind of shut out Hernandez. In that first round, Sean Strickland gets to work straight away, pretty much, lands that inside low kick a few times, starts jabbing Anthony Hernandez's face off. You see Fluffy kind of trying to weave and bob a little bit, but generally he's not the most technical on the feet. He was still getting pieced up through that guard. Strickland was just jabbing his face off and just consistently landing through the guard of Hernandez. The one thing that I did say was going to happen, which, it's nothing crazy, but I think most people predicted this. Right, Hernandez was keeping Strickland on the back foot. Hernandez did not take a step backwards that entire fight. He was advancing the whole time. And honestly, this is where I kind of was wrong, because what I was initially thinking was that when Strickland gets on the back foot, he doesn't do well, right? He's not able to counter-strike super effectively. He's not able to punish his opponents on the back foot. But, unlike DDP, Strickland was able to circle away super well. Like, yes, he had Strickland backing up, right? Hernandez was coming forward with shots, but he wasn't finding any success. Like, a lot of the times he would come in with a big winging hook. It wouldn't even land close to Strickland's face. Like, Strickland would raise his arm, and his hook would land, like, in the armpit of Strickland or near the body, nowhere close to his head. And genuinely, like, that first round kind of had me concerned, man. But Hernandez did keep it competitive. He did push Strickland forward, landed a couple decent shots, and he did land one hard shot at the end of that round, dude, which low-key, I think he might have taken that round. For me, I personally gave Hernandez that first round. You could definitely give it to Strickland based on volume, because Strickland definitely outlanded Hernandez far and away. But I do think Hernandez cleanly dropped Strickland, man. The commentators, I just want to say, were super biased this fight, dude. Like, I understand Strickland was kind of schooling Hernandez and doing well, but they weren't giving Fluffy any credit for any of the, like, stuff that he was doing. Even when he was landing good shots, like, this dude, Michael Bisping, would just, like, be on commentary. He would just be yapping his face off. He wouldn't even acknowledge the fact that Hernandez had just landed a decent shot. And then whenever Strickland would land good, these guys would just glaze him. So I do think that Hernandez wasn't given the respect that he kind of deserved in this fight on the commentary when it was live. But overall, at the end of that first round, Hernandez, I do think, dropped Strickland. The commentators, again, kind of acted like it might have been a slip from their angle. I think it was a pretty clean drop. Like, he kind of wobbled Strickland, and Strickland kind of fell to a knee. And that kind of was a shifting moment in the fight. I thought that maybe Hernandez could take advantage of that and continue to pressure forward against Strickland and maybe replicate that same success in later rounds. But Strickland just stayed super defensive, man. Round 2, he comes out continuing to jab teep. He's the jab teep king, bro. This guy jab teeps his way to a clean second round, and just kind of schools Anthony Hernandez. Again, he lands the better shots, and at one point, I kind of forget if this was round 2 or 3. I think it was round 2. He faked a knee and then landed a great right hook to the, basically, like, kind of behind the ear, forehead, temple region of Anthony Hernandez, and that was the best shot of that round, and he easily took that round. Round 3, Hernandez continues to come out swinging. Strickland is still on that back foot, but again, I'd like to reiterate, Strickland is super good. Like, he was super evasive this fight. Again, I thought that Strickland wouldn't do as well on the back foot, but he just circled away super well. Even though Anthony Hernandez was pressing Strickland past that black line, he did a great job circling away from the power of Hernandez. Whenever Hernandez would try to come forward and blitz with these big combinations, Strickland would just not be there. He wouldn't even be close for Hernandez to hit. He would continue circling away, and then he would just pop the jab, and it was just automatic. He couldn't miss Hernandez with that jab. And then he would kind of double up on the jab sometimes. A lot of the times, both of those jabs would land. It would be a great moment for Strickland, and then sometimes he would follow through with that right hand and then land that. But overall, he had just great success just on the feet striking. And then in that third round, we all saw what happened. He hits Anthony Hernandez. When they're clinching up, he hits him with a big knee to the body. And, dude, like I said, and like many other YouTubers on the UFC have said, like, this guy, Anthony Hernandez, is just very weak to the body, man. Like, I understand that it was an issue before. Like, he got kind of chinned by Kevin Holland back in 2020. He got hit to the body and he got folded. And that's happened like before. He's gotten rocked whenever he's gotten hit to the body. But dude, I did not think that Strickland had that power or the capability to kind of counter-strike coming in when Hernandez would kind of blitz in. I did not think that Strickland would be able to land clean body shots on him. I thought that, that would only be an opportunity if Strickland was able to move forward, which I didn't see coming. But man, Anthony Hernandez clinches up with Strickland, or he kind of engages, gets close to Strickland. They're kind of head-to-head, and then Strickland lands a solid body shot, knee to the body. Immediately, you can see that Hernandez felt it. He stumbles backwards, and Strickland's just on top of him. One thing I have to admire about Strickland is this guy, like, when he smells blood in the water, dude, even though he fights pretty boring, when he gets a good opportunity, he will swarm you. Just like when he dropped Izzy and he just swarmed him and really went for that finish. He will absolutely go for it. And he's very accurate as well. I think he picks his shots really well when his opponent's hurt and they're kind of covering up. Strickland landed really well through the guard when Hernandez was covering up against the cage. He was landing great uppercuts, just great hooks, just to the head. He was kind of headhunting, I'm not going to lie, but it was there for him. It wasn't an issue. Strickland was constantly landing on the temple of Hernandez. And then he kind of finished it off with a couple hard uppercuts when Hernandez was ducking down to drop him to the ground and then get the TKO victory. I will say it might have been a little bit early. It seemed like Hernandez was maybe trying to get back up near the end of that sequence, but still a decent stoppage nevertheless. I'm not complaining about the stoppage. I think that it was definitely warranted, and Strickland definitely deserved that finish. Great performance by Sean Strickland. He's back in that title picture, and honestly, dude, I genuinely should have switched my pick. Like, I was picking Hernandez by decision after losing the first couple rounds. I thought that maybe the fight was heading in that direction. But, dude, my next most likely pick that I said was that Strickland was going to just kind of shut out Hernandez and win by decision. And that's kind of what we saw happen, except we also saw that finish, which I just didn't think that Strickland had the potential for. I think that was, even despite the fact that I said Sean Strickland was underrated coming into this fight, I think that I might have still been underrating Sean Strickland. And, dude, he just reminded everyone that he's still one of the best guys in the division. Strickland is always going to be a staple at top 5. And not just 5, dude. I think that he's definitely within, probably just the third or honestly the second best fighter in that division. Or I guess the third, right? If he's behind DDP, he did lose to DDP twice. I do think he would lose to Hamzat too. Although that might be kind of interesting fight. I do think he would lose to Hamzat. But other than those two, man, I think that he beats everyone else in the division very decisively. We already saw how he did a Mavov on just a couple days' notice. Strickland is very, very good, dude. And I think that even if he's kind of locked out of the title picture right now, I guess he was before. I guess he's more in that title picture now. But I still don't think he deserves the shot. He could get it just because he has a win over Mavov, who's the number 1 contender. Plus, he has that beef with Hamzat right now. He's calling Hamzat like a Chechen. He's saying some bad things to Hamzat, man. I'm not going to say him right now, but he's calling Hamzat some mean things, guys. And I think that he might get the shot, but I don't think he deserves it, right? He's coming off one win. Before this, he got destroyed by DDP. I still think that he should probably get one more win, man. Maybe against, who would be, maybe against, a Brendan Allen, maybe. I think that Brendan Allen could be maybe next for Sean Strickland. But yeah, dude. A lot of people might say in this fight that, why didn't Hernandez wrestle? Why didn't Hernandez wrestle? Let's make it clear. Hernandez definitely tried to wrestle. Hernandez went for takedowns every round. He got everything stuffed, dude. Strickland is so solid. And I think that's, a big part of that can be attributed to just the fact that Strickland, think he does have that like wrestling background, but he does so much wrestling in the gym, dude. Like from all the clips I've seen of Strickland, he's done a lot of wrestling, especially a lot of defensive wrestling, like practice with these big fucking stout guys who are trying to take him down. Strickland is a very big dude himself as well and very physical, and I think that just overall, man, he's got extremely high level anti wrestling, and though he prefers to keep it standing, honestly, I think that he can implement takedowns in his game as well. He's very solid, and every time Hernandez would try to take down Strickland, Strickland would kind of just change levels and meet Hernandez's level. When Hernandez would duck down, he would just clinch up and kind of hug Hernandez, get shoulder to shoulder with him, and just beat Hernandez to the hips. Hernandez would never be able to get to the hips before Strickland. And whenever Hernandez would try to, muscle Strickland up against the cage, maybe work a back body lock or something like that, or break Strickland down to try to get him down to the ground, it would never work. Strickland would always kind of reverse that position and start pressing Hernandez up against the cage and then separate. Like, Strickland looked very strong in those exchanges, man. And I know this is always the case with Hernandez, but, dude, Hernandez did look a little bit flabby, dude. That body was ripe to get kicked and teeped and just hooked, jabbed, and kneed, obviously, which is what we saw. And, yeah, dude, Hernandez is very good. I think he's still high level. I do think that maybe I overrated him. I think that a lot of other people did overrate him as well. And I think that he definitely will be a top 5 fighter in the future. I think that he is deserving to be in the top 5 100%. But looking back, his win over Roman Dolidze, his win over all these other guys, like Roman Kopylov, like, these guys are generally a little bit low level, especially guys like Roman Dolidze. Like, the dude he's just not that good, man. And I do think that I was giving him a little bit too much credit going into this fight, and I think that Strickland, I'm going to have to think twice before picking against Strickland again. And unless it's Hamzat, obviously, but again, dude, I think I need to start going with my gut, dude, because my gut was low-key telling me Strickland might win, but I was thinking that the logical decision was going to be Hernandez. I was wrong. Strickland gets the job done. Congrats to Sean Strickland. I love Sean Strickland, dude. I genuinely, I think that he's, like, pretty funny. I don't really buy into any of that macho manly shit that he does, because, like, after he won the belt, like, when he was talking about, like, oh, like, the belt doesn't matter to me, like, I'm just here to fight, and then he kind of sat on, like, a unwarranted title shot for a couple months after he lost the belt to DDP the first time. Anyway, all that stuff, he did a lot of crying on Twitter. There's a time when I didn't really like Strickland, but he's honestly come around to me. I don't really take him seriously too much in terms of the things that he says, but I think that he's a funny guy. I think that he is a stand-up dude, bro. He is a stand-up guy, and he is, I think that he's a very effective, very good fighter. And respect to Strickland once again for getting the job done. Let me know what you guys think. First Sean Strickland finish in 3 years. Last finish he got was Abus Magomedov back at the start of 2023. So yeah, dude, it's exciting times in the middleweight division, and we'll see where Strickland goes from here. I'll be making, more videos talking about maybe fights to make next, other things like that, coming soon. But yeah, man, thank you for watching. Stay tuned, and good night.